Morning, everyone. Takshat, Swaraj, Saurabh, thank you. Good morning, Vita. I can see message. And today we are going to do the concluding part. That is the fifth chapter, which is given in your syllabus for CET. That is tourism, transport, and communication. Now, first thing you should know that tourism, transport, and communication completely it is a part of tertiary sector. And as you all know, the nation is considered as a developing nation or moving towards the progress when more and more people are into tourism, transport, and communication. That is, they are into tertiary sector. Tertiary sector means completely based on knowledge. So, nation which is having high literacy rate, okay, then more people are literate and all. There you will find that people are into tertiary sector. So tourism, transport, and communication is also considered as a part of tertiary sector. Okay, that is a one thing. Now, before I start with this, let me tell you that nation, if you will find that nation is progressing. So first sign is that people see development in the transportation area. They will see a development in the communication area and all. And second thing, tourism is a industry. It is not only that people moving from one place to other place only for leisure or for entertainment and all. It is one type of invisible industry. So all these three are considered as a big contribution if this area is developed. So they give big contribution in the economic development of the nation. And everyone knows that transport and communication is known as the nerves of any progressiveness nation. So if nation is progressing, so first sign is that there is a development in transportation and communication. And tourism is known as an invisible industry. Why? Because in tourism, government don't have to invest money. A group of people don't have to invest money into this. Okay, they have to make a use of available resources, available place or monuments, and they have to develop that particular area without doing major investment. Okay, and that can become a source of income for the nation, for the people. So that is one thing. So this is a concluding chapter. Now on the CET point of view, I must tell you that you should know first comparison, and comparison, that is which particular country among Brazil and India, they have more development maybe in tourism area, transportation and communication, and what type of particular areas are developed and reasons behind that. And if you'll see in this chapter, majorly there is a graph reading. So you will find so many graphs in this chapter, and based on those graphs and diagrams and maps, you will get questions in this chapter. Remember one thing. So if we'll just see that what you are going to understand in this chapter, so you are going to see first related to tourism. That is which things are going to attract people, okay, maybe in India or in Brazil. That what things are going to attract them to visit that place so the tourism develops. So if we talk about Brazil, so obviously clean white sand beaches, attractive sea coast, and everyone knows that Brazil is having Casino Beach, which is having a sandy texture for 200 kilometers. Imagine, it is world's largest beach, okay, sandy beach, 200 kilometers. Beautiful islands are there, orchards are there, okay, deep dense forest of Amazon. I think it is an amazing thing which only Brazil is having. And you will find because of this dense forest, you will find various birds and animals over here. Now, if we talk about our own nation, India, then definitely India will attract people for its heritage, adventure, yes, definitely culture, health, and business tourism. Nowadays, you will find that India is flourishing in health tourism. Okay, you will find that they are flourishing in health tourism. The reason is that here in our country, we are having a culture of yoga. We are having various methods through which you will come to know that people are coming here to get healed. And if various types of that Indian culture has made, I must say, stations, or I must say locations, that where people they come for health tourism and all. And across the world you will find that this is famous and it is main attraction for the people. No doubt culture, health and heritage, these are the three main attraction where Indians attract other part of the world. Now if we compare, okay, so as compared to Brazil, India has a denser network of transportation. So this is about tourism. Now if we talk about transportation, so we are having better and dense network of transportation compared to Brazil. The reason is that India is having more population also. Okay. Now Brazil has, if we talk about communication, so Brazil is having 4 time zones, okay, according to the vast latitudinal extent, whereas India is having only 1 time zone. Now both the countries you will find they are flourishing and they are developing in modern technology, terms of communication, space technology. So both are equally progressing in communication sector. So this is what you have to keep in mind when we talk about this particular chapter. Now, if we only talk about first tourism, so if we compare them, okay, so number of foreign tourists visiting country in India, and if we compare only with India and Brazil, okay, with USA, that is comparatively high. Brazil is having low, okay, number of foreign tourists visiting over there. Population engaged in tourism industry, you will find India more people are into it compared to Brazil. And the contribution of tourism in GDP, so that the economy grows. So you will come to know, though population engagement is high, their GDP is less. Again, the question arises over here because of the population, high population. Okay, but Brazil you will find though people engage are low, but their GDP, you will find the contribution of tourism in GDP is high. So this is a notable thing over here, that population engages high in India, but contribution is in GDP is low. Same way in Brazil, you will find population engages low, but GDP is high. So that is one thing. And it's simple. What is tourism? That is for recreational, leisure, family and business purposes. And who's the tourist? Okay, people traveling or staying in places outside or anywhere in the part of any part of that country. Okay, for I think more than one consecutive year, we take the numbers and then we just take it as how many foreign tourists are visiting our country, or we are talking about if any other country, we have to consider for 1 year. So now first we will focus only on tourism. So you can see places which are going to attract people to come here and see this picture. It's 200 kilometers length of sandy beach, which we call it as a casino beach. Okay. Now, main point which you have to remember, okay, for your CT, this you have to keep in mind that if we talk about tourism in Brazil, so it is one of the important occupations over there. And recently we have noticed that ecotourism is also developing. Which things will develop then? Beautiful white sand beaches, scenic sea coast, beautiful island, evergreen den forest, variety of species of birds and animals due to Amazon forest, and beautiful n numbers of gardens and parks you will find in Brazil. Okay, because if we area wise if we'll see, it is 3 times bigger than India. Okay, population is less, so they have opportunity to develop all such areas and all. Now famous tourist places in city, if they ask you, so you should know that it's Brasilia and Rio de Janeiro. Okay. Now, other information, that is Christ Redeemer is a statue of Jesus Christ that I showed you just now in Rio de Janeiro. It is 30 meters tall and it is located in the at the peak of Corcovado mountain, and it is main attraction for the people. If you are going Brazil, people definitely will visit this place. Second important thing where people purposely go during this period is the carnival, which is celebrated in Brazil, where samba dance music, you will find millions of tourists, they come to Rio de Janeiro to enjoy this type of carnival festival. Now, if we come to India and we talk about the tourism of India, then definitely here also you will find certain things which will attract, as I told you. The first feature is one of the important occupation of the people in India, that they are engaged into tourism. From 2010, you will find that foreign tourists, they are increasing and come that increasing in our country, and constantly they are growing and visiting our country. So they visit for what? As I told you, to see the or exploring the Indian heritage, to enjoy and gain knowledge about the culture of India, and definitely health tourism, business tourisms are also increasing. And like Brazil, even in India, ecotourism is promoted on a large scale. Okay, so if we, in short, if they ask you and objectives are given, options are given, so be careful that you have to be very careful about these terms, that which things attract people in Brazil and in India. Okay, so these are the things which you have to keep in. See, cultural and historical heritage, that is also main attraction, and that's why people they visit Jaipur, Rajasthan, and all for tourism and all, and then they move towards the all natural things, or the, we can say, the other cultural things. Yeah, people they visit, and then they come to the other parks, bird sanctuaries, sculptures they want to see and all. They move towards that. Now, very important part, this graph is given in your textbook, which is very important. So as I told you, in this chapter, more of graphs are there compared to the, we can say, the detail which is given. So related to tourism, we are having this graph. So I have divided this chapter into three parts. Tourism, then only we are focusing on tourism, that what type of questions will become, what type of graph, if so many graphs and diagrams and maps are given, so which particular graphs and maps are related to tourism, transportation, and communication. So I have divided this chapter into three parts. So first we are focusing on the graph which is related to tourism. So this graph which is given in your textbook, it is completely based on tourism. So here you will find that this pink line, it represents the number of tourists visiting in India. And this blue line, if you see, it is showing the number of international tourists visiting in Brazil. And right from 1995 till 2015, you will find the statistical data is put over here, and they have created this graph. Okay. On y-axis, you will find the number of international tourists in lakhs they are giving. So from 0 to 140 lakhs it is given. And here you will find that there is an interval of 5 years on x-axis. So y-axis, from that we will come to know that number of international tourists in India and Brazil, how it varies from time to time. Okay. Now if we talk about 1995, see, almost it was equal. That is average 20 lakhs people in 1 year. Okay. But as we move towards the 2000 and 2005 and all, so here you will find in 2000, you will find the number of tourists increased in Brazil, but India was not having that much growth. India, you will find that after 2010, there was a major leap over here. And here you can see that how the graph is growing. And till 2015, I think it is unbeatable. Okay, if you compare with Brazil, okay, so it is really very high leap India has taken. Okay, so almost you will find that Brazil, no doubt, 1995, India and Brazil were having the same amount of number of tourists visiting India. Okay, 2000 you will find there was a high growth. Okay, compared to India, but then again there was a stagnation. I must say that same amount of that figures or the data they have collected till 2010. After 2010, even Brazil is growing, but the growth is very slow, you can see. Okay, But India, if you'll find, it is having a high leap over here. So in exam, they may give you this type of graph, and they may ask you questions maybe related to figure how much is there. So you be careful over here, and options will be given which are very close to each other. So you have to choose option very carefully. So be careful, because in options, when they give, the numbers may be very close to each other. So when you see the graph, read graph properly and observe this graph properly. Now here, if we'll see that which country attracted more international tourists, so it is India, because graph is going upward. Now if they talk about 2000, year 2000, which country is having more population visiting for tourism in, so you will see in this graph, it is Brazil. Okay. Then in which year can an increase be seen in the number of international tourists in India? So right from 2010, you will find, and it has reached to highest, that is 140 lakhs. Okay. You can see it is 140 lakhs people average they have given visited in 2015. Now, what was the number of international tourists in 2015 in both the countries? So in India, it is 140 lakhs, but in Brazil, it is half of it, that is 70 lakhs. So tourist number is double of Brazil in India. Okay. Now, next, what could be the reason of increase in tourism in India after the 2010? Now, that is one big question here, but you have to put your main that point and you have to justify it. Only not being that seeing this graph, you can answer. You have to give reasons if suppose they are asking, and they may give you option also in very short. So you have to be very careful that odd one, no, you have to neglect, and be very close that reason you have to select as answer. So that is 2007, 2010, that you will find that stability and peace in the country. That is one reason. Second thing, they have given that the country did not have any threat of spread of disease. That is very important. See, today you can see that tourism industry is affected because people are worried and they are scared of the spread of pandemic. Okay, that is corona and all. So the tourist graph is completely shattered in all the nations, I tell you. Now, air and railway sector, it is very comfortable for the tourist. That is, transportation is good in our country. Then they have promoted certain destinations like Rajasthan, Kerala, Himalayas and all. And they have upgraded heritage sites. So people get more attracted. And the next thing is overall change to make the tourist much more comfortable. Concept of eco-tourism has been encouraged during this period. So that is also one reason. So how is international tourism important for a country? So why we talk so much about international tourists? Okay, why is it so important? Because through international tourism, a country can earn more foreign exchange for the country, and then they can give a huge contribution to the economy. So these are the points which you have to keep in mind, and you have to see that this type of graph it comes. So you have to be very careful. Now here one more that graph is there, that is tourism in economy. Here no questions are little different. Now here we are seeing the contribution of Brazil and India, that how much amount of people are engaged, and according to the number of people, what is their contribution in GDP. Now in the previous we have seen only the number of international tourists visiting. Okay, but here we are comparing that though more people are engaged, okay, in India. Okay, this is Brazil, this is India. And this blue bar, it shows that percentage of population engaged in tourism. So if we compare with Brazil, okay, the number of people engaged in Brazil is less compared to India. But GDP contribution is more in Brazil compared to India. Why is it so? What is the reason? Again, the question is because of the high population. Remember one thing. So this graph is showing what? Both it is showing contribution of tourism in GDP and percentage of population engaged in tourism. Okay. Now here you will find that larger share in Brazil. Okay, that is contribution of tourism. If you find that in GDP, if you'll see, it is not much difference is not there, but the population engaged, if you see, no, it is really having a major difference. But GDP, what we are getting in return, so that is one big question, that why is it so? So again, we can say that because India provides opportunities to larger number of people than Brazil, so more people are involved. But as we see that because of high population, though more people are engaged in India in tourism, their contribution in GDP is less. That is one thing. Okay, after this, now here we complete with our tourism part. Okay, now we are going to see the transportation. Okay, so as I told you that I have divided this chapter into three parts: tourism, transportation, and then communication. Okay, so when we talk about the transportation in Brazil, so here you will find we are going to consider waterways, railways, and roadways. Now, what is the contribution and what type of waterways are there, or which particular main areas you will find that roadways are developed in Brazil, and in railways where it is developed or it is developed or not? What are the reasons behind that? You should know that. So first we are going to focus on transportation in Brazil, and we will consider waterways in Brazil. Now here you will find that on commercial basis, you will find that waterways have been developed, okay, because of the huge river, right from that is on the mouth of the river Amazon, okay, to the mouth of river Iquitos in Peru. Okay, here you will find Peru is a neighboring country towards the west of Brazil. Okay, so here you will find that on commercial base, on business purpose and all, trading and all, you will find that waterways is more used on that towards the mouth of river Amazon and mouth of river Iquitos in Peru. Okay. Now here you will find longest international waterway, because we know that Amazon is such a huge river. So you will find that it is navigated through this particular path only. Okay, that is Amazon river, and even you will find along with the Amazon, they may ask you that objective type, which other river is used for water transportation? So it's Parana. So major two rivers are used for water transportation, that is the river Amazon and river Parana. Coastal shipping, you will find it is also used because business is flourishing, and now Brazil is more into trading and all. So there you will find it is carried out in the coastal areas. And coastal areas, you know, that is eastern coastal areas and northern coastal areas, they are having towards the Atlantic Ocean. So they are using that also for coastal shipping and all. So this much you have to remember, that is two rivers used for waterways, and for coastal shipping, coastal areas are used. So you should remember the coastal areas. And which two rivers, okay, which are important plus for commercial basis, that is Amazon river in Brazil till the Peru neighboring country in the west, river Iquitos. So this all important terms you have to remember. Now if we talk about roadways, so you will find that roadways, no, it accounts for more than half of total transportation. That means total whatever the transportation they are having, half is completely it is used by, or it is constructed under the roadways category. High density of roadways you will find in eastern part, because population is more in eastern part. Western part, if you'll see, it is major you will find that Amazon forest is there. So it is very difficult to develop transportation over there. It's a dense forest. So major where the settlements are on the eastern side. So obviously that the roadways or the any type of transportation more you will find towards the eastern part of Brazil. Sparse density of roadways you will find near the Amazon river basin and swampy land. Swampy land, I hope you all know, it is Pantanal near Mato Grosso do Sul. Okay, so there you will find that in Pantanal and Amazon river, sparse, very less roadways you will find. Reason is swampy marshy land and Amazon river where major equatorial forest is there. So these are also reason. So major you will find towards eastern part. So remember for CT, for CT you have to remember the roadways are more developed towards the eastern part due to high settlements. Less or sparse roadways you will find towards Amazon river basin and swampy land Pantana. Now, if we talk about railways, hardly you will find railways in Brazil. It is limited development over there. No doubt it is very cheap. Okay, if we just see the rate of railways are very less, but you will find that railways are restricted only for few urban tourist route only. It is not developed overall. Okay, overall you will find there is very few railways over there. And if you talk about airways, so airways also you will find, maybe we talk about domestic more and even international, so there are very limitation over here. So half of the transportation is covered by roadways. Waterways, it is used only in Parana and Amazon river and coastal areas, and airways and railways are having very less contribution in transportation. So this much you have to remember. Now, if we talk about India, okay, that is waterways, roadways, and railways. So you will find, though we are having so many perennial rivers, and we have done this chapter, we have seen map of India and all, but you know that waterways contribute only 1% to the country's total transportation. Okay, so you will find we are having rivers, we are having canals, backwaters, creeks, perennial rivers, seasonal rivers, but then also overall if you'll see now, it contributes only to 1%. Okay, ocean routes, they are used for the transportation, that is between islands and mainland of Indian country. Even ocean routes are used for import export business, that is international transportation. And even nearly 95% of India's foreign transport, it is done through ocean route. So inland waterways and oceanic waterways, you will see inland waterways, they are used only for a small distance, okay, through some maybe small rivers like in Ganga river and all, only to cross that a small distance and all. But major transportation is not done through waterways in India. The reason is many rapids are there, waterfalls are there, which are very risky to develop water transportation in this type of rivers. That is also one reason. So overall in India, if we see waterways, it contributes only about 1%. So this figure may come in CET in option. So you have to remember one thing. And 95% of the transportation, foreign transportation, is done through ocean routes. Okay. Now we will come to roadways. Yes, 85% of the total passenger traffic, it is facilitated by roadways. 70% of the total freight traffic, that is a goods transportation, it is completely used through roadways. So this is very, very important. Roadways are very important, and I think we are having a huge length of roadways, but you have to remember only this much, that roadways contributes in a high amount. So for passenger, it is 85%, and for freight traffic, that is, we can say the transportation of goods and all, that is 70%. Okay. Now, if we talk about railways, so railways have been important for the growth of the Indian economy. Big role of railways in the growth of Indian economy. Okay, so railways are not only used for the transportation of passenger, but for goods transportation also you will find that it is used for a large number. Now, if you see, it is dense railway network you will find, okay, in populated area, low-lying area and all. But in mountainous region of north and northeast states, central region of India, and arid region of Rajasthan, there you will find there is a less dense railways are there. Okay, so North Indian plains, dense railway, mountainous region, and Rajasthan, that is the arid region and all, there is a sparse or less dense railway. So be careful that which areas we are having more railways. So major we are having in North Indian plains, that you have to keep in mind. Now if we talk about airways, so international airways, that is, and we can say now almost I think major cities are having international airports. Okay, and you will find that even internal airways, domestic, that airways are also increasing day by day. You find major that development we have seen in the domestic airways, that is internal airways. Okay, so that is one important part. Okay, now this we will do later on. is matched it following. First, we are going to see the transportation maps and all that if they come. So what you should know. Now this map, it belongs to Brazil where major transport routes are given. You will find that thick line which you see over here, red color. Okay, it is completely showing a major road. So you can see that major road is very limited over here. So as we have seen that roadways are very limited. And other roads also you will find it is either in the eastern part or here in the southeast part. Okay, you will not find in this western part and northwestern due to that is because of Amazon dense forest over here. Okay, and this major road also you will find it is very limited. You have to remember this that it covers which particular parts. So you should know that Cruzeiro do Sul, Porto Velho, Manaus, and Brasilia. And this major road is known as Trans-Amazonian Highway. So in option, they may ask you that which major road is there or the name of the major road is what. So you should know Trans-Amazonian Highway. So this is a Trans-Amazonian Highway, which connects, that is Cruzeiro, Manaus, Porto, and Brasilia. So this particular part is only connected. Now, if you talk about railways, so you'll find, see, railways are only in this particular part and here where settlements are moved. In the eastern part, you will find here also then the network is very less. Okay, here you will find the dense network of railways over here. And everyone knows that Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, then here Curitiba Port and all, Porto Alegre, Rio Grande. These are the areas where more urbanization is there, more industries are developed. So wherever the people will get a good source of income, you will find the settlement will increase in that area. So definitely wherever the settlements are more, you will find that more network of this type of transportation are found. Airport also you will see in a limited airports are there. Okay, very limited. Okay, ports you will find the Rio Grande, Porto Alegre, Rio de Janeiro, Victoria, Salvador. Okay, these are the ports. Okay, which are very famous. Major famous port is Manaus, which is in the Amazon River basin. So that you have to also remember, Manaus. Okay, so these are the things which you have to observe and you have to understand when this type of graph may come or the questions they may ask. As I told you, what is the name of the major road, that is Trans-Amazonian Highway, where are that major network of railways are found or roads are found in which particular area is having very sparse transportation. So all this thing you should know. So here, as questions are given, which means of transport are there. So you will find that railways are there, roadways are there, okay, airports are there, ports are there. So which means of transport has a denser network? So road is having a denser, which highway can be seen prominently. So it's a Trans-Amazonian Highway, which places it join as I told you. So the Cruzeiro, Porto, Manaus, and Brasilia. Now, what could be the reason of development of railways only in Southeast? So as I told you, it is a lowland contraction is easier. So easy to lay out the tracks and all. Then railway connects all the urban tourist routes which are located over here, like Sao Paulo and important urban centers. Now, in which part of Brazil do you see a lesser development of transport network? So you'll find it is in north and northwest because of Amazon forest and swampy as well as highland. So it becomes very difficult to construct roadways and railways in these areas. Okay, important river port, you will find that is a confluence of Negro and Amazon river, which I told you that is Manaus port. Yes, this also you have to remember that Manaus port is what it is called. It is which part areas you will find. Now see, Manaus, it is not on the coastal region. So why it is considered as an important port? So it is a confluence, that is a meeting of two major rivers, Negro and Amazon river. So yes, that is very, very important. So Manaus port is important as it is located on the confluence of Negro and Amazon river. Confluence, that is meeting point of two major rivers, Negro and Amazon. Why this river waterways or inland waterways well developed in Brazil? Because of perennial rivers, and there they don't have rapids or waterfalls and all. Okay, and dense network of river bodies like Amazon River. That's why you will find that inland waterways or river waterways are developed more compared to India in Brazil. So this information you have to keep in mind related to Brazil transportation. Okay, Main is the name of this river. Manaus is located on the confluence of Negro and Amazon River. Then why there are concentrated railways in that particular areas, and which transportation is developed more. So 50% the transportation over here is completely roadways. Okay, so these are the things which you have to keep in mind. Now we will come to the transportation of Brazil. Okay, so here you will find that if you see the transportation of Brazil, dense network, and you know the roadways are so dense that in this chapter you will find they have to take two transportation maps of India. One only related to roads, okay, and ports, and second you will find it is related to railways and airports. So imagine that how dense it is that they have to state it in a two separate maps. That is very, very important. Now, which important things you have to remember? One is now north-south highway connecting the north and extended part towards the, that is north-south and east-west. See, this is east-west right from Gujarat till Arunachal Pradesh, here from Srinagar till Kanyakumari. So these are the roads which they have constructed, highways they have constructed connecting the extreme points of east-west and north-south. And they are known as golden quadrilateral also. Okay. So here, what type of questions they may ask you. So we are going to go through it, which is very, very important. So which means of transport you will find in this map, in only in this map. So you will find that roadways are there and ports are there. Okay. Two terminal ends of north-south highway. You have to remember that which we call as a part of a quadrilateral. Okay, that is Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir, and towards the south it is the ends in Kanyakumari. And east-west highways are Porbandar. Okay, that is east-west highway connects Porbandar, Kriel in the west and ends in Guwahati, Assam in the east. Okay, you have to remember Porbandar and the Guwahati. These two names you have to remember. Important cities which connects the golden quadrilateral, that is Delhi, Lucknow, Kolkata, Chennai, Bangalore, Mumbai, Ahmedabad and Jaipur. Okay. Now when we observe this road network, okay, which areas are having a low network of national highways. So you will find, see, this thick line is used for the national highways and all. And your east-west corridor, it is a green. This green dotted line is given over here. Okay. Now, if you zoom it now, you will come to know. See, this green dotted line, it is east-west highway. And this is a dark, that thick line, it is a north-south highway. Now here, see, over here, you will not find any type of transportation symbols over here. So there are such areas. So which are those areas? They may ask you. We can say the sparse network of roadways, or we can say that Arya is asking which transport mode is important in both countries. Arya, in Brazil, no beta, it is roadways. Okay, roadways is important. In western part, no doubt for commercial bases, waterways which they use for Amazon River. And in India, you will find it is roadways and railways both because they play important role. Arya, am I clear beta with your doubt, bacha, which you have asked in chat? Okay. So that you have to remember. Okay. Now, poor or sparse network, you will find highways in which particular areas in our country. Okay, which states or areas. So Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand. Okay, northeastern state of Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland. So these four places are mountainous region, and that's why we are having a poor network of transportation roadways over here. The extreme western coast of Gujarat in the run of Kutch. So we know it is a desert area. Okay, run means desert, and that's why in western coast of Gujarat, where we can say the Saurashtra area is there. So because of that desert part, we will have a less network or sparse or poor network of highways over the roadways over here. So here this areas or these states which they have given, it is because of elevation. Okay, that is altitude, high altitude, mountainous region is there, and because of that. That highway project, okay, which highway project is parallel to eastern western coast? So it's a golden quadrilateral highway project, okay, which are parallel to western and eastern coast. So you should know this, okay. And names of major seaport, okay. If we talk about particular state, and they may ask you, okay, so you should know states also, and related to state, you should know that which important ports are there. If we talk about Gujarat, we are going to start from here. From here, we will move towards the eastern side. Okay, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Goa, and over here, from here to here. Okay, so if we see those major ports, okay, Gujarat, you will find Kandla and Porbandar. Maharashtra, you will find in Mumbai. Kerala in Kochi. Tamil Nadu in Chennai. Andhra Pradesh in Visakhapatnam, and West Bengal in Kolkata. Okay, so major seaports are in this particular states. Which particular cities are there? So that you should know. They may ask you in objective type question. Important cities connected by north-south highway. See, you have to be very careful that which cities are connected by east-west highway. They may give you 4 options. So if they are asking about east-west highway, 3 they may give you for north-south and 1 of east. So you should know that which one is the right option, and you have to choose that. So cities which are connected to north-south highway, it is Ambala, Delhi, Jhansi, Nagpur, Hyderabad, and Bangalore. And which is connected to east-west highway, it is Rajkot, Kota, Kanpur, Lucknow, Muzaffarpur, and Siliguri. So you should know that if we are talking about the cities connected from east to west, so it will follow this particular path, and north to south, then over here. So when you see the name of these cities and all, be careful that they are located in which particular state and they are moving in which particular direction. And accordingly, you have to choose this. Now, what is the meaning of Golden Quadrilateral? So it's a highway project which connects the major 4 cities, okay, by expressway, like north is southwest, Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, and Mumbai. So if you see that Delhi is in north, Kolkata is in east, Chennai in south, and Mumbai in west. So this way they have connected and they have constructed this highway, that is Golden Quadrilateral. Now suppose if they give you option, and instead of Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, and one option they give something else. Okay. So which party, they may ask you the negative question, that which city is not connected to Golden Quadrilateral. So Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, and they may give Jaipur. So you should know that which is not connected and which is connected. So options, be careful when you choose options over here. Okay. Now on which coast more number of seaports are there? Okay. So on western side, you will find that more number of major and minor seaports are there. So be careful. When we see this map also, now you will find that you right from Porbandar, Kandla, and over here, you'll find more ports are there on the western coastal region compared to the eastern. Eastern you will find only at this Kolkata, Visakhapatnam, and Chennai. And here you will find right for Kochi, Mangaluru, that is even Goa also, Mumbai also, Gujarat also. So you have to be careful about it. Okay, so western coast has more number of major and minor seaports compared to the eastern coast in India. Okay, now if we just see and keep that comparison, if it is they ask you, okay, questions related to comparison. So in Amazon River, that is in Brazil, here we are comparing only Amazon River and Ganga River. Remember one thing, Amazon River is used for commercial purpose. Remember one thing. But Ganga River, it is used for short stretch that traveling. Okay, as I told you, for a small distance and not for international route. Which is the main port, okay, important port in Amazon River, that is Manaus, and in Ganga River we are having Kolkata. Okay, Now the Amazon River provides waterways through dense forest and marshy land. But Ganga River provides waterways through vast alluvial plain, which will connect the agricultural area. Amazon waterways covers the western region, but Ganga waterways covers the only northern plain flat area. Okay, so this questions related to Amazon River and Ganga River, and that also connected to water transportation if they ask. So you have to be very careful about it. That is keywords you have to remember. Okay, Amazon commercial basis, Ganga River for short stretch. Amazon River main port is Manos, Ganga River Kolkata. Amazon River, they are connecting dense forest and marshy land, and Ganga River, it is connecting alluvial plain and agricultural area. Amazon River, it covers western region. Ganga River covers North Indian plain. So this way, keywords you have to remember. So it is going to help you to choose the correct option in your CET, that is MCQ questions. And now we will come to the next part of India, that is airports. Okay, airports and railway routes. Everyone knows that for India, railways play very important role for the economic growth. And I think railway has contributed a huge, that I must say, huge thing which we can see that economic growth is taking place today also. Now, if we talk about local railways also, you will find in Mumbai itself, okay, where you will find that because local railways are not working because of this pandemic and all, you will find it has affected the economy in Mumbai also. The reason is that in India, railway plays very important role in the growth of economy of our nation. So here you will find, see the dense network of railways over here. See this symbol which is used over here. Everywhere. See, except over here, because it's a mountainous region. Here you will find less network. Here in eastern and Sikkim and all, again it is the Himalayas and elevated part, and in Rajasthan, that is Thar Desert. Then also you will find that narrow gauge trains are running over here. But then also you will notice that compared to other part of our country, you will find that sparse is in these three areas. Dense you will find, it's really that this picture itself will tell you. See here over here in North Indian plain. Can you see over here? Okay. So this is a dense network in North Indian plains. And here you will find that yes, normally over here. But in Rajasthan, Jammu and Kashmir, Sikkim, and in eastern states, you will find that sparse network of railways are there. Okay, airports you will see very limited they have given, but here you will find domestic airports and international. Both you will find that major or developing in our nation. We are covering more and more cities and all for the development and for the establishment of airports and all. Now we will see the questions, what type of questions they may ask you, and you should know this. Okay. Now, which part of India has a higher density of railway network? So obviously northern plain, as I told you, this North Indian plain area. Okay, Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, Jharkhand. Okay, here you will find this particular low-lying area. Very easy to construct roads and construct railways and all because it's a low-lying area. That's why here, and even Durgapura, one major industrial belt is there. So wherever more people are traveling, development is there, industries are there, definitely you will find a dense network over there. Okay. Now, why is the railway network in central part of India very moderate? Central part, that is Madhya Pradesh. Okay, your central part. Why it is moderate? Okay, that is Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Northern. Okay, Andhra Pradesh. That is reason is rugged plateau region. Everyone knows that's a plateau region. Your Deccan Plateau is there. Your Central Highland is there. So here, because of this rugged and undulating land is there, you will find that ravines are there, and because of that, you will find that rugged plateau region. But it is not sparse; it is moderate. Remember one thing: in central part of India, we are having moderate. Okay, In northern plain, we are having dense, and you will find that in overall, if you'll see, so in hilly region and desert area, it is sparse. So highly densely construction of railway network, then moderate and sparse. So we have to be very careful on these three areas. Now, which part of India is poorly connected by airways? So again, it is a northeastern part and northern part of India. Okay, northeastern part, that is Himachal Pradesh, Nagaland and all, and northern part Jammu and Kashmir. Here also you will find airways are having a very poor connectivity. Okay, now which are the northernmost, southernmost, easternmost and westernmost railway stations of India? Okay, so here when we see this map, this Baramulla. Here you will find railway station Kanyakumari. Here you will find Okha, Nadia and all. And here you will find Tinsukia. So you have to see map, okay, Okha in west, east side Tinsukia, north Baramulla, and south Kanyakumari. This you have to be very careful. If map is given and they ask you question, so and if you remember also, it will be helpful for you. Okay. Now, which part of India has a sparse network of transport, and what is the reason? So we know that Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, eastern part of Arunachal Pradesh, because of the difficult terrain of Trans-Himalayan mountain and extreme climatic condition, which are covered by snow throughout the year. And these are the reasons that why we are having in this area a very poor connectivity or poor network of transportation. So here we finish with the transportation of India. So now we will move to the that, okay, here this particular map, which is very important. Okay, that is related to Brazil. Now here you will find that time zones are given. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 time zones are given. Okay, the time zones are given. This we are going to understand. Before that, we are going to see the extreme points of Brazil. So you will find that on the eastern side, it is Porto do Success, that is 34 degree 47 minutes west, and western side it is Nascente do Rio Moa. So this type of names, no, they may be give you in options. So eastern, you just remember the word Porta and here Nascente. Okay, so this will help you to select the option. No need to remember this. We can say the latitudinal and longitudinal extent that you don't have to remember. Okay, I don't think it is important. How many divisions are seen in the map? As I told you, so there are 4 time zones are there. You can see these lines have divided Brazil into 4 time zones. This they may ask you in MCQ. So 4 time zones are there. So it is completely signifying the time difference, the Brazil and the Greenwich Meridian time. Next thing is you can see the word GMT is written over here, and -4, -5, -3, -2. That means, what does it mean? First, you should know what is GMT. GMT is when it is 12 noon in Greenwich, it will be only 12 a.m. in the easternmost part of Brazil. Okay, so GMT is nothing, it is a Greenwich Meridian time. Okay, the full form of GMT. -2 hours, that means this particular area, this zone, it is 2 hours behind GMT. This is 3 hours behind GMT. This is 4 hours behind GMT, and this is 5 hours behind GMT. So you can see -5 hours, -4 hours, -3 hours, -2 hours is it. So these are the timings they have given. It is behind GMT. Okay, so 4 zones are there, and all the 4 zones are not equally that behind GMT. So each zone is having a different time. Okay, so that you have to remember. So first zone, second zone, third zone, fourth zone. So in exam they may ask you that fourth zone is behind GMT for how many hours? So you should know 5 hours. Third zone, it is 4 hours. Then second zone, 3 hours. First zone, 2 hours. So first zone 2 hours, second zone 3 hours, third zone 4 hours, and fourth zone 5 hours. So you have to remember this. Okay, that is one thing. Second thing is which part the Brazil is ahead of the other. Ahead. Okay, that is ahead. So we can say that eastern part of Brazil, like Paraíba, you find that sunrise earlier than the western part of Brazil. And that's why eastern part will be ahead of time. So as we know, this one, this first part, eastern part, okay? This is eastern and this is western. So here Paraíba and all states are there. So here you will find that this particular zone is ahead compared to other, okay? Compared to other. So here sunrise will take first. Okay, next is for how many minutes is this part ahead of others? So as I told you, it is 1 hour, 2 hours and 3 hours ahead of rest of the Brazil. And if they ask you in minute, you have to answer in minutes, because in question they have asked minutes. How many minutes? So be careful that when you choose option, read question properly. So it's a 60-minute, 120-minute, 180 minutes. Now, what does the red line in the map show? You can see this pink line. What does it shows? What does it mean? Okay, so it says standard meridian time of Brazil, official meridian time of Brazil, which is 3 hours behind GMT. Okay, and Brazilian time is set according to BRT, that is international timing, that is official time, Brazilian official time. Okay, and it will be 8 a.m. according to BRT when we talk about the hours compared to GMT. If GMT, if there is a 12 noon, okay, so you will come to know that this particular line which is over here, okay, so how many hours it is ahead or behind, that you have to keep in mind. Okay, so that is very, very important. So red line indicates what? Okay, it's a standard meridian time of Brazil. Remember one thing. Okay, and it is in the second zone, not fourth zone. Huh? Remember, children, it is in the second zone. So second zone, so as it is given -3 hours, so you should know it is 3 hours behind GMT. And main standard time, official time, it is given in the second zone, which is 3 hours behind. Okay, so this is very, very important part of it. So here we finish with this. Okay, so now important part which you are going to understand over here, communication in Brazil. So after doing transportation and understanding the map which is showing the difference or the it is ahead or behind of GMT, we are going to see few important figures, okay, which they may ask you in your CET and all. So the information of communication in Brazil, you will find that landline, mobile phone, television, radio, broadcasting, computer, internet facilities, which are very common nowadays. So that are well developed in over here. 45% of Brazilian population, they are using internet facility. Okay, and you will find that the major modern telecommunication infrastructure you will find in which areas. Please note down this, student. They may ask you that use of modern telecommunication and infrastructure is major due in central and southern part, because population settlement is high over here. So major you will find development is there, urbanization is there. So people are using more over here. Limited communication infrastructure in northern and western part, because tribal people are there. Okay, you will not find any development, urbanization over there. And major it is covered by Amazon forest. So tribal people are there. And if tribal people are there, development is not there, industries are not there, or urbanization is not there. So it's obvious that sparse use or very less use of infrastructure you will find in northern and western part. Rigid topography and vast expanse are some challenges, okay, because of which there you will find that expansion of coverage of telecommunication services you will find over here. Brazil is developing technology for launching domestically made satellites in space, which we have already done in our country. Okay, and they are planning to own their own rockets and they want to use it for their satellites and all to make, okay, to send satellites in space and all. So they are launching all their satellites and all, and they're planning all this thing. And I think already they have started also, and successfully they have launched also, which will help them in their modern communication technology and all. Now, official Brazilian time and communication in Brazil, if you see, this is the short form. See, if you see the full form, official Brazilian time, it will not match with the abbreviation over here, BRT. Now we are having IST, Indian Standard Time, IST. But in Brazil, we don't have such. Okay, they write BRT. But what is the full form? They write official Brazilian time. So don't get confused over here. Okay. So as we have done, so important things which you have to remember, I'm revising it again. 4 time zones BRT is having. They are behind 2, 3, 4, and 5 hours according to the time zones. GMT3, that is a third zone. It is considered as the official time of Brazil. And this official time, second zone, which is okay, GMT 03, 3 hours behind, second zone. It is 3 hours behind the GMT, that is Greenwich Meridian Time. Okay. Now, if we talk about the Indian Standard Time, so it is located at 80 degree 30 minutes east. Okay, and it is ahead. Remember one thing, it is ahead of GMT. So how much time? 5 hours and 30 minutes. Please remember this. Indian Standard Time is ahead of GMT, and that is 5 hours and 30 minutes. Now, if we talk about communication in India, so in this area, you will find for the era or the period of information and communication, the telecommunication industry has become one of the fast growing sectors, and the use of digitally enhanced communication devices like mobile phones, internet, satellites are remarkably increased. The graph is growing upward. And you know, India is one of the largest users of smartphones and internet. How in Brazil, we have noticed that it is only 45% people using internet facility. But here it is almost very close to 100%. Okay. So it is one of the largest users of smartphones and internet. Tanishka is saying it is given 82.5. My dear, 82.5 degree, that means 82 and a half degree. We write 82. See, it is written in 3 ways, bacha. If you just remember, I would like to write it over. Either you can write 82 degree, okay, and 30 minutes, okay, or you can write 82.5, okay, or you can write 82 and a half. Okay, it's one and the same, dear. Tanishka. Acha, here it is written 80. It is 82, my dear. Okay, it is 82 degree. Tanishka, correct, bacha? It is 82 degree, beta. Okay, now, important points to be keep in mind when you give your CT and all, that Brazil is divided into 4 zones. Okay, remember one thing, it is divided into 4 zones. India is only having 1 time zone. Okay, now if you see the time difference, okay, it is 3 hours. Okay, it has a time difference of 3 hours, and India is having 2 hours. That is from east to west. I'm talking about east to west. Telecommunication facilities, okay, here you will find most it is in central and southern part, okay, developed. And in India, you will find, okay, the telecommunication is fairly old and developed in major cities and towns, except this you will not find in north and northeast. Otherwise, major countries having this. Okay, but better here in Brazil, if you see, the better development is in central and southern part. Okay, so this you have to keep in mind. Brazil is still in developing stage. Okay, and India has developed already space technology. So these are the keywords which you have to remember when it comes to your what we say CT objectives and options. Okay, densely vegetated area poses a big challenge for telecom services in Brazil. Densely vegetated, that is Amazon forest, and high mountains, okay, like Himalayas and all, they give a challenge for the telecom services. So you have to remember where and why. Okay, so densely populated, that is Amazon, and high mountains, that is in Jammu and Kashmir and eastern states. Okay. Now, IST and BRT, which things you have to remember? Okay. So that is IST stands for what? Indian Standard Time. BRT for Brazilian Standard Time. Okay. It is located at 82.5 degree east. I think Tanishka, it's okay now. 82.5 degree, beta. Okay. And here you will find that in Brazil it is 45 degree west meridian. IST in Brazil, sorry, in India it is ahead. Okay, in Brazil it is behind. IST is 5 hours and 30 minutes ahead, and Brazil it is 3 hours behind. Okay, India has only one time zone, Brazil has 4 time zones. IST is ahead of BRT by 8 hours and 30 minutes, and BRT is behind the IST by 8 hours and 30 minutes. So these are the keywords which you have to remember. So it is going to help you to choose the correct option. Okay, so these are the points which you have to keep in mind. Okay, now if we move to the last map. Okay, last map which is given in your textbook. Okay, which is also very important. So this map, it is completely actually related to location and extent. But when we talk about GMT and all, then definitely we have to keep in mind all this thing which they may ask you in objective type question. So everyone knows that longitudinal extent of India is 97 degree 25 east to 68 degree 7 minutes east. Okay, so it is having a longitudinal extent. If you see, it is different. The longitudinal difference is 29 degree. Okay, when we minus this from this, okay, it is 29 degree, and we are having only one time zone. Second thing is which longitude provides the Indian Standard Time. So it's a 82 degree 30 minutes east or 82.5 minutes meridian. Okay, and the time difference between IST and GMT, it is 5 hours and 30 minutes. Okay, when we talk about the local time variation, okay, so you will find 1 hour 56 minutes of approximate 2 hours or 120 minutes ka difference you will find. So sunrise at 6 a.m. in Arunachal Pradesh, okay, it will be only 4 a.m. in Gujarat. So sunrise would not have occurred in Gujarat when it has occurred in, okay. So this thing you have to keep in mind, the difference of 2 hours in a local time variation is 2 hours. And from GMT you should remember that it is having a difference, okay, that numbers also you have to keep in mind. So that is 5 hours and 30 minutes, but local it is 1 hour and 56 minutes, the approximate 2 hours. So don't mix both the things, okay, that is very, very important. Now they will not ask you about the Greenwich, London and whatever things. Only you remember that how many hours it is ahead of, okay, GMT, and in local area it is 2 hours. So don't mix these two things. Please, your students, they make mistake over here. This particular figure is ahead of GMT, 5 hours and 30 minutes. So IST is ahead of GMT by 5 hours and 30 minutes. Okay. But in local area, local time of India, the difference is of 2 hours. So please don't mix these two things. Okay, very, very important. Okay, so next thing which we are going to do is objective type. Now, before I start with this, if you have any question, if you have any doubt till here, you can ask me. So I divided this chapter into 3 parts. First, I focus only on tourism, then transportation, and then communication. So you can compare also, and you can understand also which type of transportation is more. And through this we can understand that which particular country is having that more thing. Miss, will you send this objective? Yes, Arya, always I send. Yeah, lecture 4, it was little late, beta, but this I will send you today. Okay. Now, let me check first with that match the following, that how many students are able to answer. So I will understand, and I will come to know that you have understood this concept which I have discussed with you over here. Okay, so we will discuss this match the following. I want your answers and response as soon as possible. Okay, shall we start? Okay, you all do this first. First this, okay, east-west distance of India. What will be the answer? Distance. Okay. Jitesh is saying B. Okay. Right, Jitesh? 1 ka what answer? 2 ka what? 3 ka and 4 ka. Then we will discuss this. East-west distance of India. We are writing 3,000 kilometers. Okay. What about others? Yes, Kaustubh is over here. Kshitij also B. Okay. What is the second one? Distance of waterways in Brazil? They are saying D, 3,700 kilometers. Okay, D, correct. Easternmost longitude of Brazil, beta. See here, they have given this degrees and all longitudinal lines. Okay, just C, 34 degree 47 minutes west, and last one westernmost is F. Okay, let's check. First ka it is D. East-west distance, it is 3,700 kilometers. Distance of waterways in Brazil is Okay. Tuka, what you all gave? Tuka D. Okay, this one. Tuka D it is 3,007. Here some, I think there is some mistake. First B. See here, we will see the map. Wait. See, one map is given, that is going to help. See, the distance east-west 3,000 kilometer. It is given over here. Can you see, beta? 3,000 kilometer it is given. So you have to remember that. So when you observe map, you will come to know all this thing. Okay, east-west distance is 3,000 kilometer. Okay. Thank you, Tanishka. Okay, first let me do this, na beta. Okay, your east-west distance, if you see, okay, it is first ka B, 3,000 kilometers. Distance of waterways in Brazil, it is 3,700 kilometers. Easternmost longitude of Brazil, it is 34 degree 47 minutes west. And westernmost longitude of India is 68 degrees 7 minutes east. Okay. Now let me take this one first. Okay. Trans-Amazonia. What is this, beta? What is the answer? Trans-Amazonian major highway. Correct. Road transport. C. Correct. Golden Quadrilateral. Rio de Janeiro. Tourist place highway. Correct. And Manmad. B. A railway station in India. Correct. Very good. Okay. Now we will do the third one. Okay. Airport of Brazil. B. Okay. Airport. Seaport of Brazil. See, airport of Brazil is Rio de Janeiro. Seaport of Brazil, it is Curitiba. And river port of Brazil, that is Manaus. Correct, beta. Okay. Now about India. Seaport of India on the western coast. C. Kerala. Correct. Seaport of India on the eastern coast. Kaustubh, not A, beta. Visakhapatnam. Seaport of India on the eastern coast. Visakhapatnam. Okay. International Airport of India. New Delhi, everyone knows. And river port of Peru. Iquitos. Correct, beta. Okay, that means you all have done this. Very good. Very good. Okay. Now we will move to the objective type questions. Let's see that you all are able to answer or not. Okay, very important. You have understood the concept, and definitely it is going to help you give those answers very easily. Okay, we will start from first one. Answers are already given, but at least you all can try. Okay, the new capital city of Brazil is Brasilia, correct. A city that attracts a lot of tourists is A, Rio de Janeiro. The proportion of the Indian population engaged in tourism is proportionately dash in Brazil, higher than Brazil. India, we are having more engagement of people, but GDP is less. The football stadium at Dash is quite well. Okay, Manos, everyone knows. Okay, next question. Most common method of transportation in Brazil is some are giving B, some are giving C. Arya directly wrote road. Yes, it's a roadways, beta. Okay, roadways, correct. Next question. The density of road network in Brazil is concentrated in the dash part of the country. Okay, some are writing A, some are writing D. Okay, dense network of roadways. Okay, it's wrong, beta. Eastern part, not southern, but eastern part. Actually, in south we are having more of railways, my dear. South more is railway compared to roadways. Okay, so be careful that if we talk about roadways, it's eastern part. If we talk about railways, then southern part. Okay, next. Forested lands of the Amazon River basin and the dash lands have limited the development of roadways in this part of Brazil. So Jitesh gave C, swampy, correct. Everyone is giving C, swampy, correct, beta. Okay, next question is, waterways have been developed on a commercial basis in the Dash River. Everyone knows it's Amazon, correct. All are giving correct answer. Very good. Okay, next question. Boats fly from Dash in Peru to the mouth of the river Amazon. Just now you gave answer. Oh, very good. Very good. It's Iquitos in Peru. Iquitos in Peru. Very good. Next question. Apart from river Amazon, another important river for waterways is the Dash Parana River, but it is flowing in which direction? Yes, Kaustubh, you are correct. Kanishka, it's a south flowing beta. It's not west flowing. It's a south flowing. Parana River is a south flowing river. It's not. West, we don't have any river flowing towards west beta. There are no west flowing rivers in Brazil. Remember one thing, there is give reason also. If you'll see in third chapter, there are no west flowing rivers in Brazil. So be careful about it. Okay, it's a south flowing. So all are giving C, Ojas, Suhani, Shitij. Please note down, there are no west flowing rivers in Brazil. Okay, the contribution of Dash is less in the transportation system of Brazil. Okay, C, D, A, all are giving different answers this time. Okay, Prajakta is giving waterways. Some are saying railways and all. It is airways, beta. The contribution of airways is very less in the transportation system of Brazil. Okay, railway network is dense in the less dense part of India. Less dense, that is very is a high. See, okay. Neha gave D. Yes, it's a north. See, it's a north. Railway network is dense. Here, wrong answer they have given. It is North Indian plains, beta. Dense is in North Indian plains. Railways are more in North Indian plains, beta. It is not northeastern, it's a North Indian plains. Okay, so D is the answer. Okay, next is approximate 95% of foreign trade moves through dash route in India. So oceanic. Okay, you saw the answer. Westernmost extreme point of Brazil, Nascento. And which here, tell me, this is about the western. Which is the eastern one, beta? Eastern one. Oh, correct. Kshitij and all. Shubhra, Vedika, Suhani. Very good. It's a D. So you remember those Nascento and Ponta. Ponta is eastern part. Okay. And Nascenta is western part. That much you have to remember. Okay. Easternmost extreme. Again, I think you gave Ponta. Okay. Next. Brazil has dash time zones. 4. Correct. Next. BRT time is dash hours behind GMT. Okay, many are giving A. Oh, very good. Maximum I'm getting. B is wrong, beta. Vedant, B is wrong. Answer is 3, beta. Brazil time is 3 hours behind GMT, beta. Okay. Next. Today, more than 45% of the Brazilian population has access to the dash. What is that? D, B, both answers I'm getting. Answer is D, beta, internet. 45% of the Brazilian population has access to the internet. Okay, that is D. Next is the telecommunication infrastructure is fairly modern, particularly in Dash, Brazil. Okay, everyone is giving answer D. Okay, let's see what is the answer. Answer is Central South, D. Correct, beta. Okay, next question is dash services in Brazil are well developed and efficient. Okay, some are giving B, some are giving D. Services, we are talking about services. Be careful. It is telecommunication. Air, railway, if we talk, it comes to the transportation beta. Dash services we are saying. So it will come to telecommunication only. How come this transportation will come beta? Be careful when you read question. Okay. With regard to telecommunication infrastructure, the North and Dash are drastically less developed. Okay. I'm getting C answer. D also I'm getting. Less developed. Be careful. Kshitij, we are talking about less developed beta. Okay, it's a northwest. North and northwest where Amazon forest is there. Okay, be careful. Recall the map and then you will come to know. Over recent years, DAS have led to the rapid expansion of telecommunication services in Brazil. Rapid expansion. Landline, radio, television or mobile. Jitesh is having question mark, is having doubt. Yes, Jitesh, very soon you will get answer. C, I think C, students giving answer C also. Answer is mobile telephones. But television, radio and landline, they were developed before mobiles. So now if 45% people are using internet, so that is related to mobile only beta. Connect with that 45%. So you will get answer, that is mobile telephones. Okay, sometimes no, to get proper answer no, we have to connect with the other information also. So you will choose the correct option. Be careful about it. Okay, India has dash standard time zones. 1, correct. The difference between the two extreme points in India. Now this is a X in minutes they have given, and it's a local. 120 minutes, correct. It's a 2 hours. 120 minutes. Everyone is giving correct answer. Very good. And the difference between two extreme most points of Brazil, this is about India. What about Brazil, beta? India local, that difference, okay, to extreme point is 120 minutes, 2 hours. Getting various answers. Oh, it is 168 minutes, beta. It is 168 minutes. Please be careful. Okay. 168 minutes. 168 minutes mean how many hours, beta? 168 minutes. 2 hours and 48 minutes. Correct. So be careful. If they give in hours, they will give you 2 hours and 48 minutes, and India is 2 hours. That difference is there. Be careful about it. Okay. Now, 82 degree 30 minutes its longitude, that is IST meridian. Okay, it passes through, okay, Allahabad. Correct. Don't write Muzaffarnagar, Muzaffarabad and all. Actually, it is Allahabad. Okay. In Google, they see in Google and they write wrong answer. Okay. India is one of the largest users of dash. Okay, everyone is giving smartphones. Correct. Okay. About 85% of passenger and 70% of freight traffic are carried by every year in India through which type of transportation? Jitesh. Who is writing C, beta? Neha. Tanishka, Neha, what you are writing, bacha? Sharvil. 85% of passenger and 70% of freight, bacha. It's roadways, bacha. It's a roadways. Don't get confused in this. Okay. Next, dash is the official time of Brazil. GMT 1, 4, 3 or 2. Oh, Arya, it's not D beta, it's GMT 3. That is a second zone. Second zone beta, GMT 3, second zone, and it is 3 hours behind. Zone is 2, but it is GMT minus 03. Okay, I think my few students, they got confused in this number. Please, this number GMT minus 03 means 3 hours behind. 3 hours behind means second zone beta. Be careful. See, I want to show you that map. It is going to help you to understand that. See here, it starts from minus 2 hours, but first zone. Minus 3 hours, second zone. Minus 4 hours, third zone. And minus 5 hours, it's a fourth zone. So be careful about it. And this GM, that is official Brazilian time, it is in second zone, which is 3 hours behind. This is second zone. So BRT is in second zone, which is 3 hours behind. So don't get confused in this. Okay. Yes, Arya, I understood. Not only you, beta. The students, they get confused in this only. They get confused in this numbers and zone. So you have to remember, first zone 2 hours behind, second zone 3 hours behind, third zone 4 hours behind, and fourth zone 5 hours behind. Good, this question came and you have given wrong answer. Okay. So few students who are having a difficulty over here, they will understand this. Okay. Very good. But I am getting very good response. Maximum students are giving correct answers and all. And all this question answers, I think n numbers of question answers you will find over here. 30 are there, and even you will find that one line answers I have taken. Because some tricky questions they may ask you in objective type, that is MCQ. So some twisted questions are over here, which is going to help you. Okay, help you. Now, like for inland waterways, only transportation waterways having concentration of only 1%. Okay, so all these numbers and figures, okay, these are correct. These are included in this one line answer also. Okay. This one more match the following, and all this I'm going to send it to you. Okay, I hope this session has helped you to gain knowledge related to transportation. Okay, I'll stop sharing. I'm coming back to you all. So students, if you have any doubt, any question, and definitely very soon I'm going to send it to you this, okay? And please go through all the objectives and try to do it first on your own and then cross check the answers. Okay, answers are there. So it is going to help you a lot. Okay, any question, any query you can ask me. Students, so shall I end this session? Okay, Arya, thank you so much. Prajakta, Kshitij, okay. Chalo, bye everyone. God bless you all. I think this was my last session, 5th chapter. Okay. So bye bye everyone. God bless you all and all the best for your CET. Okay. Bye, 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 bye everyone. God bless you all.